Jim Paul, What I Learned Losing $1 Million. Embark on a journey through the riveting lessons learned by Jim Paul in his book, What I Learned Losing $1 Million. Discover the crucial need to manage losses, the dangers of overconfidence, and the perils of crowd behavior when trading or investing. This summary guides readers through the various aspects of human psychology that can hinder our decision-making, the importance of solid research and planning in the world of investments, and valuable insights on exit strategies. Dive into a gripping narrative that showcases the crucial role of self-awareness and learning from one's mistakes to prevent financial catastrophe.
The Danger of Overconfidence. Jim Paul, a successful futures trader, fell victim to his unshakable self-belief and ended up losing everything. Despite exceeding limits and losing money every day, he remained convinced he was right. His overconfidence led him to borrow money from friends, lose $800,000, and get fired. This book warns readers about the dangers of being too sure of oneself and neglecting rational thinking when it comes to making decisions. Winning at investing. When it comes to investing and getting rich, there isn't a single trick or shortcut. The greatest investors don't agree on much except for one thing: minimize your losses. This advice is shared by Wall Street legend Bernard Baruch, Jim Rogers, and Warren Buffett, who has solidified this principle with his top 2 rules of investing. Paul, a successful businessman, also learned this lesson on his path to rebuilding his empire. In the next parts of the book, the author explores how Paul understood and processed loss, and how to avoid or minimize it. The psychology of loss in trading. Loss is an inevitable part of trading. However, traders tend to take it personally and have difficulty accepting and controlling their losses due to emotional decision-making. This can cloud their judgments and lead to snowballing losses. Accepting losses as a fact of life and cutting them strategically can help traders maintain a rational mindset and prevent further losses. The psychology of risk in trading. Traders are prone to making bad calls based on irrationality and cognitive biases. This often leads to major losses, especially in continuous events like trading, where there's no limit to the number of times one can bet. When it comes to probability, humans are not always rational. For instance, even if a coin is tossed 6 times and lands heads up every time, there's still a 50-50 chance it will land tails up on the 7th toss. Traders fall victim to this type of irrational thinking all the time. Instead of using reason, they continue to place bets in the hope that the market will eventually turn in their favor. This type of irrational behavior poses a high risk, especially in continuous events like trading. A discrete event has a clear start and end point, but continuous events can continue indefinitely, leading to ever larger losses. This risk is compounded by our natural tendency to look for patterns, even when none exist. Successful trading requires constant evaluation and risk management. Traders need to be aware of their cognitive biases and irrational tendencies and take steps to counteract them. By doing so, they can minimize their losses and maximize their profits in the unpredictable world of trading. The danger of crowd mentality. Soccer matches bring out a contagious sense of power and uninhibited behavior in fans. When we are part of a crowd, we copy each other, and we enjoy seeing our actions mirrored by others. Although this behavior can be fun and exciting, it can also turn dangerous, especially when it's fear that's animating the crowd. Being motivated by the fear of missing out on something makes us more susceptible to taking cues from others. Traders know this better than most, as crowd mentality often leads to bad decisions. The Dutch tulip mania of the 17th century is a prime example of how crowd behavior can go terribly wrong. People bought tulips because everyone else was doing it, and soon, a single bulb was worth a fortune. However, the bubble eventually burst, leaving many investors broke and regretful. Crowd mentality is not limited to physical gatherings. We're part of the crowd every time we make snap decisions based on investment fads. It's challenging to remain calm and collected when everyone around us is going wild. Planning for investment success. Morgan Stanley's key to success in the 1980s and 1990s was through their thorough planning. They included both best and worst-case scenarios in their planning process. A good plan reduces the likelihood of emotions influencing investment decision-making. It's crucial to ask yourself big questions before investing and write a mission statement. Solid investment decisions are based on clear-eyed analysis of the situation, not hearsay. Stick to sources and facts to avoid doubling down on a bad investment. A solid plan is essential, but it's not enough for success. Exiting the market propitiously. Knowing how to get out in time is a game changer when investing or gambling. Bob, a trader, failed to get out in a timely fashion, resulting in massive losses. Markets without exit strategies are akin to a never-ending horse race. A predetermined exit strategy is vital for obviating emotional or fallacious decision-making. Setting a limit on how much one is willing to risk losing and exiting when it is hit provides clarity and composure, allowing for reasoned decisions and preventing emotional or trendy crowd behavior from swaying decisions. Plan your exit before entering the market and stick to it. It is the soundest investment tactic you can employ.
As we wrap up the key takeaways from What I Learned Losing $1 Million, it becomes increasingly evident how essential it is to avoid falling into the traps of emotional decisions, illogical biases, and getting swept away by the crowd. By keeping in mind the indispensable advice of top investors on minimizing losses, staying vigilant about self-awareness, constantly re-evaluating the market situation, and sticking to a well-thought-out exit plan, readers can significantly increase their odds of success in the world of investing. Ultimately, reassessing one's mindset and learning valuable lessons from both successes and failures can determine one's trajectory in the financial world.